Okay, so it's part 3 of our bag making tutorial, and we're ready now to sew all around the sides and to make it look like a bag. So I keep saying sew, that's quite funny, isn't it? What we do is I'll turn the bag around first of all, and this is probably the most important thing you will ever do in making a bag with a zip, is we need to unzip the zip. If you don't unzip the zip at this point, you can't turn it right side out when you've finished sewing it up, and you'd have to undo all of that sewing to then undo the zip. So undo the zip, not all the way, it still wants to be inside the bag, but just leave a little sort of inch gap here, and then this allows us then to turn it right side out. So before we do the next bit, I'm just going to place where the handle is going to go, and I tend to put it on the side sort of opposite to where my zip is at the moment. Doesn't really make a difference, I don't think, which side you put it on, but we place it obviously so that and this is a mistake I've made several times, is that I sew it like this and you know, I've just done it so many times, but actually obviously this is going to be the outside of the bag, so we need it to go this way, but that is something I've done lots and lots of times. So it's going to be placed about here, so I just hold it in place at this point, and then we flip this side over, and then so we've got right sides together there, and then lining sides together at the top, and then we're going to pin it. So if your handle moves, don't worry, because we can sort of jiggle it before we pin it. We don't mind a bit of jiggling. So we're going to need some pins, and what you need to do is look at your corners down here, and you want to just line them up so they're nice and square. And again, don't worry that if your interfacing doesn't quite meet the edge of your fabric, don't worry about that. And then we pin here, and then go over to the other side and do the same. So line up that corner and pin. Okay, and then I pin where the handle is. I just make sure it's straight because it can move, so make sure that's straight, and at the same time at this point here your zip should be square, so your teeth should be next to each other here and here, so it's a good opportunity just to check that that's okay. And then I just pin the handle in place, and that's not going to move now. And then I just put one more pin in across the other side, and again if you fold the zip down and make sure that the edges meet here, you know that that's going to be nice and square, and then just pop a pin there. So that's that side all secure, and then we do the same on the other, except obviously there's no handle on this side. And then I just sort of pull the two pieces of fabric down just to make sure they're nice and smooth, and then we line them up in the corners and pin that one across to the other side. I mean, sometimes you might find that your two pieces of fabric have shifted a bit when you've ironed them. I just tend to sort of smooth them. Again, I mean, don't worry too much if they don't quite meet like here, because you're going to be sewing over here, so it's never a problem if your fabrics have kind of shifted a little bit. And then I just tend to put another pin up here just to keep the two pieces secure. And then this is where we're going to, basically what we're going to do is we're going to sew all the way around what is now a rectangle, but we have to leave a gap for turning right side out, and the gap needs to be in the lining fabric. So what I tend to do, because it's very easy to forget about that and just to start, you know, and just go all the way around, I just remind myself by putting 2 little lines here and here. What's that? I don't know, 3 inches, something like that. You just want a big enough gap to be able to turn the bag right side out. Okay, so that's it all ready to start sewing. So now we're going to whiz to the sewing machine. I'm going to start at one line, sew all the way around to the other line. And when I'm sewing this time, I actually line up my foot so that it's on a line with the actual edge of the fabric all the way around. And when you get to a corner, just make sure that your needle is in the fabric, and then you can lift your presser foot, turn, drop back down, take that pin out, and if it's slightly not, at the edge, you can just do a bit of adjusting when you start sewing. Now when you get to your zip, you've got to sew over your zip, obviously. There's quite a lot of fabric to go through there, so just go steady. And I tend to sort of pull on the end that's coming out and keep hold of it here. And just take that pin out before we go any further. And just hold your handle in place. And again, this is very thick, so just go steady. Okay, we're over the worst. And if you can see sometimes the fleece flips up, just push it back down. Come into the zip again, so again just go a bit steady over the zip. And then the last little bit. Okay, so that's our bag. Also, all the pieces are now sewn together. So in the next tutorial, what we're going to do is we are going to box the corners, flip it right side out, and then just finish it off, and we'll be done. So I will see you then.